Hey y'all, welcome to Fitting and Homemaking. My name is Sarah, and today we're doing a 25-minute, well, I was going to say clean, but it's actually just a tidy. We actually don't end up cleaning anything to my knowledge. But we're starting off in the living room here, and this was a day where my husband's on vacation, and unfortunately, my son, who had an ear infection about a week and a half ago, ended up being allergic to his antibiotic. So yay for amoxicillin allergies, but he is also home with my husband looking after him this day. So these are just toys that they were playing with earlier. They are, at this point, I think they were either doing a walk around the neighborhood or maybe they went to story time or something. But my son broke out into a full body rash and was very uncomfortable. So he had to go to the doctor and get antihistamines and all those sorts of things. But yeah, that's why this is needing to be reset a little bit more than it normally does in the morning. And I chose to do 25 minutes for this tidy because I had a meeting in like 30 to 35 minutes for work and I was between tasks, and I wanted to leave myself enough time to use the restroom and maybe make myself a second cup of tea before that meeting. So you'll notice that this is in real time, so I look like I am moving as slow as molasses on a January day. But maybe you're just used to watch me go at turbo speed with the video being sped up. But I wanted this to be a body doubling, actual tidy with me sort of thing. So I left it at normal speed for y'all today. And you'll notice that the video is, in fact, not 25 minutes long. And that's because normally in my videos, I cut out the time where I am not in the room, so y'all aren't just staring at an empty room. Although Max is in this room, so that would be fine to do. But yeah, apparently during my normal, just regular tidying, I spend 7 of the 25 minutes-ish out of the room that I was trying to focus on cleaning. I know a lot of other people who have ADHD get a basket or a bin or just make a pile of the stuff that doesn't belong in the room so that they don't get too distracted. I haven't ever been someone to do that, but maybe I'll try that next time so that I'm not walking around so much. Although honestly, I need the steps, so I don't mind that part of it. Here we've just switched around to doing the shoe bench, and it just irritates me when there are shoes next to the bench instead of on the bench, especially if I happen to be vacuuming that day, because I like just being able to pull the bench out and not have to move the shoes separately. But that was it for the living room. Here we are in my kids' room, and you will see I did not go and put that fan up. I just put it on the table because I realized how much time I was going to have to cut out of the other ones. So yeah, we're just putting up, my daughter originally wanted to wear the skirt and then she decided that she did not want to wear the skirt. So we're just putting that back and then tidying the beds. We have this pool noodle on here so that when my husband and I are kneeling next to the bed, or if we are lying down next to my son to help him get back to sleep or whatever, we don't get the wood in our back or on our shin or whatever. But my kids have played with it enough where it's like cracked down the middle, so we need to go buy some new pool noodles. And we've thought about actually putting them all the way around the bottom so that there's not as much of a gap between the wall. But yeah, here I'm not cleaning anything, I'm just tidying it up. And my daughter has a lot of stuffies on this bed. You'll see in a minute that I actually find 2 more stuffies at the foot of the bed. But she really appreciates when I straighten her covers, less so for the neatness of it all, and more so just because she can tell that I've been there and that I was thinking about her. You can see that the window is open, or maybe you can't see that, but I'm telling you, the window is open in this. It was actually quite nice this morning, which is why I'm wearing a jacket, because it was still a little bit chilly, but it was nice to be able to air out some of the rooms in the house. This video is getting out a little bit late. It's still on the same day, but not at my normal 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time posting. And that's because I'm also having allergy issues. So maybe the open window was maybe not the best thing in the world. But I was so stuffed up and nasally last night, and I still am, but not as bad as last night. So I just didn't think I'd be able to do the voiceover then. So here we are. We're just taking out some more diapers. We kind of store the diapers in that bottom drawer and then just put a few up on the top of the changing table as needed. All right, now we're in our bedroom. I say that like you're my husband. We're in my husband and I's bedroom. And okay, so here's an update on the bed situation. I am loving how little time I spend making this bed, how little mental energy is attached to this bed now. All I have to do is put my pillow into the sham, very quickly straighten the duvet / comforter situation, and then I'm done. And like, it gives me such satisfaction that the duvet and the comforter is the size that like perfectly hangs over the mattress to match the top of the bed rails going around. And like, it's just so easy to tell that it's even. And I'm spending so much less of my life making this bed, which is fantastic. If you have no clue what I'm talking about, go and watch the video before this where I talk about ADHD and my sensory issues and needing the bed made a certain way, etc., etc. I'll link that down below so that you can go check it out if you have no clue what I'm talking about. Anyhow, yeah, essentially I just have to put my pillow in the sham and then quickly straighten the rest of the bed, and it's fantastic. I will say, the first night I slept in the bed with the comforter situation, I was so blazing hot. I was so uncomfortable. I had such a hard time sleeping. Subsequent nights have been much better. I've made sure that the fan's turned up on high, and I find a lot of the heat that I'm giving off is actually from my legs. And so if I pop out like from knee to foot out of the cover, that cools me off enough where I'm not like sweaty and hot and nasty. And it's really just from like shoulders to just below my bum area that I need to have covered to feel like secure at night. So that seems to be working much, much better. So I am very happy with this change now that I have figured out how to get the right kind of temperature to comfortably sleep. So yeah, probably should have done this way sooner. Not certain about the duvet color, duvet cover color. I got my mouth, my brain got ahead of my mouth there a little bit, which neither is firing that quickly at this moment, to be perfectly honest. But I feel like I should have chosen a comforter that was the color of like the darker blue that's running through that pillow, because then it would kind of pull in the curtains and also that darker blue streak, because it is, the walls in here, they look kind of gray, but they're like a bluish gray. It's a paint color called River Mist by Bear, and it looks more blue in person than it's looking here on this video. So there's kind of a lot of shades of like a medium light blue happening in the room. But the duvet cover was not that expensive, so I can probably change that out seasonally as I like. I have not washed the duvet cover again and like reinserted the comforter, but folks left some tips on the last video about just literally turning it completely inside out and doing it that way. So I will do it that way when I wash it in the next few days here and see if it takes me a little bit less time to get that comforter back into the duvet cover. But honestly, even if it does take a little while, the amount of time I've saved throughout the week making this bed is like, there's no way it's going to take me longer than the time that I was spending on making the bed every single day before. So like I said, pretty happy with that change. And here I'm just, putting up some of the hang dry laundry. That's something about laundry that I'm really bad at. I'll put the line dry up, and then I'll just move that darn drying rack around the house ad nauseum in front of my closet. I'll move it away from the closet when I need to get close. Sometimes I'll put it on the near side of the bed here in the foreground on the left side of the video, but that's where Max's bed goes and where he sleeps at night, so then I have to move it. Sometimes I'll move it in front of our storage closet. It's just, there's no great place for it because we can't have it in the big open areas, otherwise the kids will just pull all of the blankets, or not the blankets, pull all of the drying clothes off of it and get them dirty again. So I realized when I was turning that bag around that I still had not unpacked from our mommy-daughter day. Last week we had a mommy-daughter day. Was it? No, it must have been 2 weeks ago. It wasn't last week. It was 2 weeks ago that we had a mommy-daughter day. So you can see on the bed is just her container of like nail polish and lip gloss, and then we did fairy hair for her. So that's the leftovers of that, and I just never unpacked it when we came back. And I'm looking at it thinking, all right, where to put this stuff? Oh, and some other hair thingies there, I think, are in a baggie. But it's nice to get that stuff unpacked so it's not just chilling where it doesn't need to be. And look, I found some dishes in the bathroom. So always nice to get this back. We have a couple of valet hooks on the wall there that flip up when they're not, you can flip them up when they're not in use, and it's amazing. I love those things. But that's where that one usually hangs. Me remembering, oh yeah, I put those extra hangers down here, didn't I? But yeah, honestly, this day I did not feel like doing much. I was exhausted from being up in the night with my son, and my daughter has been waking up in the middle of the night and having issues with big feelings, and so it's been taking a while to get her back to bed. And I thought about just talking to y'all while I was doing this stuff, since I knew I was going to keep it in real time, but I was absolutely not in the mood. I'm not in the mood to be doing any of this stuff that you see me doing. But I went ahead and I put in my earbuds, and I believe at this point I am listening to, let's see, it was a video by With Love Christina. Amazing YouTuber, go watch her. Her voice is so soothing, so that's partially why I turned it on. But she is neurodivergent and talks about that and the challenges of keeping home while having children, while having a full-time job. I think she does YouTube full-time, and she's about to be a published author. So her plate is more than full, right? But she gives good tips and tricks for maintaining your home and just being very reassuring about mess being morally neutral. And how many places do I go and find more laundry in this? And then I'm like, oh gosh, I forgot these shoes. These shoes are bothering me. It's like, stay focused, Sarah. You're doing laundry right now. Let's get this load going. But yeah, she, with Love Christina, talks about mess being morally neutral and how, I think in this particular video, she's talking about how her house had gotten a little bit messier than usual because she had chosen to be more present with her family and spend more time with her family on the weekends, and you know that was fine. So I really appreciate that message, and it's impossible for someone to do all the things. So something has to give. There's only 24 hours in a day, and the people who tell you that there are the same 24 hours in a day for everyone is lying, because yes, the physical time of 24 hours does not change, but your life circumstances can change what you can do, what you can functionally do within those 24 hours. When I was living on my own as a happy single gal, I had all the freaking time in the world to spend on myself and have excellent mental health and just do whatever I pleased, whenever I pleased. So it made getting through the things that I didn't necessarily want to do so much easier, because you just bang them out, you get them done, and you're not exhausted when you're trying to do them. And then you move on and you do all of the wonderful things for yourself. when you're a mom, when you're working full time and you're taking care of the house and you're married, so you're in a relationship with someone that you care about deeply, those things all come with responsibilities. They also come with a lot of joy as well, but they come with responsibilities that you have to juggle in addition to only being concerned about your own schedule and your own wants and needs. So, yeah, the 24 hours do not feel the same. I think I don't even know if she talks about that in the video. Honestly, I was so kind of out of it from, reacting to whatever the plants are doing outside this particular week, that I just find her voice really soothing. So I only got little snippets of it here and there because I was concentrating on what I was doing and honestly trying to think a little bit of stop walking out of the room so much and bouncing back and forth. But maybe I will try the pile method or like having a basket to take around. I don't want to buy a new basket. We have the laundry basket, but it's almost always full of laundry, so I don't know how well that would work. I would actually have to be up on laundry, and I feel like when I am caught up on laundry that the house isn't needing to be picked up. Anyhow, you can see the stuff a little bit closer up here that I had set on the bed before, and I'm just putting it up now. Yay, camera angles. I was trying to make sure that if I did take stuff out of the room that I was just placing it in the room that it needed to go in rather than, spending time making sure it was put up properly. Knowing that I was going to hit this room again. Getting all the stuff up and back into the cabinets where it belongs so my kids don't just see it and think, that's a fun toy to mess with. So here the shower looks super gunky, and that's because since my son had that allergic reaction to the amoxicillin, he got a full body rash and was just so miserably itchy. So my husband was giving him oatmeal baths throughout the day. So that's actually like oatmeal starch on the bath mat there and just like little bits of oatmeal that came out through we were putting ground up oatmeal into a produce bag. So, some of it just came through the mesh of the produce bag. But this is why I'm just rinsing it off here. I'm not cleaning it because I know that he'll probably be wanting another oatmeal bath later in the day. So I'm just rinsing it out rather than actually cleaning it because it's just going to get more oatmeal in it later that day, which was a pretty accurate assessment. I think he did have another oatmeal bath that afternoon. Luckily, he's feeling much better. My son is at daycare today. Oh yes, I got water down my sleeve. I was like, must wipe immediately. That's one of the things that I just can't handle, water up my sleeves. But we're getting pretty close to time here. Oh, there you go. The timer's done. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Like and subscribe. I will see you the next time. Bye.